Hello, America. Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. I read something today in the Washington Post that, was amazing to me. By the way, the Washington Post is soon going to be the Huffington Post, which is the president's recommended news source. But it's on the On Faith blog section, and it's by Sally Quinn. It's titled The Gift of the Gores. It's a celebration of Alan Tipper Gore's divorce because they handled the decision with dignity and grace. They did, and I don't wish them ill. But the blog goes on to some disturbing places. Hey, it's 2010. We need to talk about changing the nature of marriage. We should respect and, quoting, rejoice the divorce decision of Al and Tipper Gore. This is in the faith section of the Washington Post. Look, I'm an imperfect guy. I got a divorce from my first wife. I'm not one to cast stones on this at all. But holy cow, can we at least try to strive for something better in this country? Can we at least say that is a real tragedy and we should try to reach a higher height? We're going to look at this at a future show because it is time to look at the loss of God and heroes in our life. It is time to strip the mask back and see what's really behind and what the future holds if we stay on this course. Attacking religion and family, all of our values, is just one way today's revolutionaries are trying to achieve their end game. But what is that end game? There are things that we're going to speak tonight that I don't think have been spoken on this program. It's time to speak them because, unfortunately, there are far too many people in this country that believe revolution is the next story of America. Hello, America. Yesterday, I took you through this chalkboard, and I'm just kind of putting it back up here. Took you through this chalkboard, and this is left and right, the European left and right. It is either Nazism or communism over here, and it is anarchy over here. Okay? I showed you the difference between the revolutionaries, Van Jones, Bill Ayers, Bernadette Dorn, Jeff Jones, all these people, Andy Stern. These are hardcore revolutionaries. And over here, Clintons, Rahm Emanuel, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid. These are the politicians. And the politicians are about here. They're not, I don't think Bill Clinton gets up in the morning and says, you know what, man, I wish we were a communist nation. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Politicians are using the revolutionaries for power and control. And the revolutionaries are allowing it to happen for power and control. Tonight, I'm going to show you what a trap they have laid for us. The only thing that's left to decide is who's going to be standing at the end. Are the politicians or are the revolutionaries? Only one of these groups will be standing and in real power and control. I came to this, I guess, fuller understanding of this when I was doing research on the anarchist here in America. I'm working on something else, but the anarchists I came across 1919, yep, days of Woodrow Wilson. These anarchists were trying to bomb politicians. They were sending mail bombs to politicians to get the government to move in a direction they wanted it to move. And that's when a light bulb went off because I had just heard this sound from the president, and it bothered me. Watch.
I don't sit around just talking to experts because this is a college seminar. We talk to these folks because they potentially had the best answers, so I know who's to kick.
Okay, that bothered me. It's not about the swear word or anything else. It's just that doesn't appeal to the average American. And again, not the swear word, the thuggery of it. Americans don't want to hear that from their president. We told you yesterday's program who he was talking to, and that's what brought me to this blackboard. And I showed you this blackboard. Okay? The politicians of the left and the revolutionaries. What they've done is they knitted these two groups together, and they're both using each other. I talked to Bill O'Reilly because Bill and I are going out and doing our Bold Fresh tour next week, I think in St. Louis and Columbus, Ohio. And Bill and I disagree. We disagree on an awful lot. And it's amazing because I think he learns something when he goes out on the road. He learns something from you. We disagree mainly on people like Van Jones. He doesn't think that the man is dangerous because he thinks he's powerless. I hope Bill O'Reilly is right on that. I really do. I don't think he is. Let me ask you this. If the president had to address somebody, and I think you're naive if you think he was saying that to you, it was the revolutionaries and Van Jones. Van Jones went to deliver a message to the progressives this week. And the message was, the president hears you. He spoke yesterday at America's Future Now conference. He just happened to be talking about how they shouldn't be mad at the president and how they should focus on governing from the bottom up because they already have the White House. Now, I'm sure nobody prompted him to do this, but listen to what he said.
The opportunity is to recognize that a governing movement is three things. It's top down. You handled that. You got the White House, the Senate, and the House. You handle the top down. But it's also bottom up and inside out. Top down, bottom up, and inside out. So now your challenge as you leave here, our challenge, is to take care of that bottom up part and that inside out part, the heart part. That's where we're weak now. And we have the chance as we move forward to take the old admonition from the South African movement and govern from below.
I believe the South African government was a revolutionary government. We have the top. We have to turn things inside out and govern from the bottom. This is critical, America, because it tells you what is about to come. Hang with me this hour, please. He also said this.
I think that when we look back at the history of the Obama administration, when we look back at the history of our progressive movement, that this week will mark an historic inflection point when progressives decided to be progressive again in this country. I think something shifted this week.
Holy cow. I don't think that is him just saying, I think he knows. Something has shifted, and it's about to come from the bottom up. What are we shifting from or to? I mean, has this administration ever appeared to not be progressive or not radical? I mean, the stated goal of this administration is to fundamentally transform our nation. Fundamental transformation. I don't think it gets much more radical than that. But it's only now that Van Jones says the president is on board, that there's a shift in the White House. On board with what? What is the end game here? What are we shifting to if we haven't already shifted? Again, we go back to the black flag anarchists. Remember the difference here, okay? Remember who these people are. Here's the interesting thing. Look at this amazing game that they have set up. You have the politicians over here. The politicians think that they're using these people for this. Get out in the streets. Go stir it up. Go get the bad guys. They're using this for their own power. But these people actually believe in something and have for a very long time and have been willing to die for it. The anarchists want chaos and madness. They want it. They just knew that it didn't work. In the 1960s, it didn't work. You remember who we had in the 1960s? We had people like Bill Ayers. Andy Stern's part of this. We had these people in the 1960s. These were the revolutionaries. But today, these are the revolutionaries. The revolutionaries, they're trying to make you believe that these are the revolutionaries, the Tea Party members, when indeed, the man is not Nixon. No, no, no. This is just a normal guy just like you. He's just got power. He's the man. And he's just like you too. They're just normal. They're just normal. It's these people you need to be afraid of. Okay? Here's what they want to do. They couldn't get you to react. They couldn't get you to move. You need something else because these guys have pushed it as far as they can. It's something called the Overton window, actually. They can't go any farther. There needs to be something that freaks people out. They're saying, bottom up, get out into the streets. Get out in the streets.